This is part 7 of the Module 9 lecture. In this part, we're going to introduce the comparison of the means of two independent populations when these populations have unequal variances. And also these variances are unknown. This method is covered in your textbook in section 10.3. All right, looking at this flow diagram that I introduced when we started this module, we're still dealing with independent populations, but we have already performed a test of variances where we determined that the variances are not equal. And now we want to move on and compare the means of these two populations with unequal variances. And the variances are unknown. So we're going to be learning how to do this part. All right, the procedure to compare the two means when the variances are not equal is identical to what we did in the previous section, where we were comparing two means with equal variances. The two differences is that now we need to define the test statistic differently, because now the variances are not equal. They cannot be combined into a single estimate or a common variance. And also this presents a new problem, which is the calculation of the degrees of freedom of the t-distribution that we will use to make these inferences. So the procedure to test the hypothesis remains the same as before. And in this particular case, the way we state the null and alternative hypothesis and the direction of the test is going to be exactly the same as we did in the previous section. Differences with this and the previous section is going to be how we calculate the degrees of freedom of the t-distribution and the new form of the test statistic. But everything else works the same. All right, so in this case, we need to go back and say, well, now what is the form of the sampling distribution of the sample means? Because that's what we're going to use to estimate the difference of the population means. Well, the sampling distribution of the difference of sample means with unequal variances, well, the mean of this sampling distribution remains the same as before, just the difference of the two population means. But now the standard deviation is expressed like this, where we are keeping the two variances separate because they're not equal. We cannot combine them into a single estimator. So this is what changes in the definition of the sampling distribution, and this is exactly what changes in the test statistic, because now the denominator, which corresponds to the estimate of the sampling distribution, the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the difference of sample means, now is expressed like this, where because we don't know the variances, then we replace them with the sample variances right here. And now the difference of means is going to come from the two samples of data that we have. And then the difference in the population means that's going to come from the null hypothesis. And of course, the sample variances and the sample sizes are given to us from the samples that were obtained. Now, if the samples, the two samples from where these statistics are calculated, consist of independent observations, and the sampling distribution of the difference of sample means is normal, either because the sample sizes are bigger than 30, or because the samples come from normal populations, then this test statistic follows a t-distribution with degrees of freedom that we're going to call them df unequal. And those are defined as I show you in the next slide. So remember, what changes from the previous method to this method is the denominator of the test statistic. The second change is how we calculate the degrees of freedom when the variances are not equal. In this case, we're going to use these quantities V1 and V2. So the numerator of the degrees of freedom is just the sum of those two, V1 and V2, and we squared them. And then in the denominator, we have V1 squared divided by the degrees of freedom that corresponds to that. And then we have the V2 squared divided by the degrees of freedom that go with that, those estimators. So here's how V1 is defined, is the first sample variance divided by the sample size, and V2 is the second variance divided by the second sample size. And the degrees of freedom are defined as before. N1 minus 1 for degrees of freedom 1, and for degrees of freedom 2 is N2 minus 1. So now here are the two changes in this methodology: the denominator of the t-statistic, and then how we calculate the degrees of freedom for the t-distribution that we're going to use to test the hypothesis and construct a confidence interval. And here's that confidence interval. And again, this is very similar to what we had before, but again, the difference is that we keep the two sample variances separate, because now we know that the variances of the populations are not the same. And also the critical value of the t-value for the confidence interval is obtained from table 5, as we have done before, with alpha over 2. But now the degrees of freedom have to be defined by this equation. So that's another difference when we calculate the confidence interval. Other than that, we're going to be pretty much repeating what we did in the previous section when we compared two means with equal variances. And of course, here we're comparing means with unequal variances, and that's why the variances are kept separate. All right, I will stop here. In the next segment for this part, we're going to look at an example and see how we solve this type of problems.